start a new season. The Simon Fraser Red Leafs men's basketball here from the familiar home, the West Gym. And it's going to be a fun 2 days of action here atop the hill. It's the GNAC CCAA Challenge, matching two teams from the Great Northwest Athletic Conference and two teams from the California Collegiate Athletic Association. It will be fun. It will be great preseason NCAA Division II basketball. And we are getting set for the first game. We're about 5 minutes away from the anthems here at the West Gym. It's going to start out with Western Washington, the Vikings, out of the GNAC, getting set to face the Cal Poly Humboldt Lumberjacks in the first game. Simon Fraser, the Red Leafs, will make their official counting debut as the Red Leafs at 7:30 when they take on Cal State Dominguez Hills in our nightcap game. It's going to be a great one. I'll be joined by Jacob Hall as well as our analyst once we get underway here. But Simon Fraser, of course, already testing themselves at a pretty high level. The crosstown clash against UBC did result in a loss in the Buchanan Cup, but really showed the potential, the promise of head coach Steve Hansen's Red Leafs for this season. A lot of new faces you're going to see in the 7:30 game, but we can tell you, if you haven't seen the game via the live stream that is out there, it was a great show of cohesion from young players and returning players, and another exciting season under head coach Steve Hansen sure to be for Simon Fraser men's basketball. Now, right in front of us, we can tell you the SFU rivals Western Washington are still on the court here warming up, and they will be taking on, as we mentioned, the Cal Poly Humboldt Lumberjacks. And we all know Cal Poly Humboldt formerly as Humboldt State. And they, of course, have been a familiar foe for Simon Fraser, both in conference in football, while they still had a football program, to a number of exhibition games as well. So it will be those two teams getting set to play. We'll introduce you to many of the key players as we progress. But Western Washington, as usual, one of the top teams in the Great Northwest Athletic Conference. And we're going to get to see a starting lineup for the Vikings that includes Kai Johnson, the guard, the sophomore guard. He will be one of the starters here for head coach Tony Dominguez. Daniel Hornbuckle as well, number 3, another starting guard, the native of Fairbanks, Alaska. D'Angelo Minnis out of Kentwood High School. And for Simon Fraser fans wondering, Kentwood High School, also the home of Simon Fraser quarterback Justin Sieber. I believe those two were actually classmates while at Kentwood. So good to see D'Angelo Minnis in the gym today. He's been scoring at a prolific rate in the preseason, up around 20 points a game in their 3 non-counting exhibition games. Another player to watch is for sure going to be Jonathan Ned, wearing number 13, a transfer from the University of Georgia, has played SEC basketball, and here he is in the court for Western Washington. He'll be wearing number 13. Keep an eye on the forward, 6'9", 220. And as well, B.J. Cawley, a redshirt freshman out of Mariner High School in Everett, Washington. So that's going to be the starting 5 for the Western Washington Vikings. For Cal Poly, who are looked upon as one of the top teams. I believe they were picked 6th or 7th in the CCAA preseason coaches poll, but just a few points out of that 4th place. So this is one of the top teams in the conference, without question. And I'm going to get a chance to see them here today. And very interestingly enough, one of the players we're going to see is going to be Jaden Edwards. He is the son of Blue Edwards, the former Vancouver Grizzlies, the former Vancouver Grizzlies guard, a very popular player during his time with the Grizzlies while they were here in Vancouver. Of course, leaving before at the turn of the century to Memphis. But Jaden Edwards, Blue's son, in the lineup and one of the top players. He was a CCAA preseason watch list mention. So watch out for number 20, Jaden Edwards. Averaged 16.5 points to lead the team in scoring last season. He's a 6'4", 220-pound guard. The other starters quickly: Carl Timmons out of Howard University, Malik Davis wearing number 11, Ian Krishnan as well, and Marlon Ruffin, the transfer from Portland State. They will make up the starting 5 for the Cal Poly Humboldt Broncos. And we're going to take a short break here. As the clock gets to 0, we're going to pause for the intermissions, and I'll be back with Jacob Hall for the opening tip of this basketball game. Stay with us for more from the GNAC CCAA Challenge.
Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to tonight's game between the Cal Poly Humboldt Lumberjacks and the Western Washington University Vikings. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we do ask that you please rise if you are able, and please remove all caps for the playing of the American National Anthem. Starting lineups beginning with Cal Poly Humboldt, starting tonight for the Lumberjacks. At guard, number 4, Ian Krishna. Starting guard, number 11, Malik Davis. Starting guard, number 15, Marlon Rutha. Starting guard, number 20, Jaden Edwards. And starting center, number 44, Cam Timmons. The Lumberjacks are led by head coach Dave Rowe with assistant coaches Andy Ayer, Colin Kinslick, and Jason Hodges, as well as Baron Mars. And now it's time to meet tonight's starting lineup for Western Washington. Beginning with guard, number 1, Kai Johnson. Starting guard, number 3, Daniel Hornbuckle. Starting guard, number 5, Angelo Minutes. Starting forward, number 13, Jonathan Dick. And starting forward, number 23, B.J. Coley. The Vikings are led by head coach Tony Dominguez with an assistant coach David Dunham and assistant coaches Bob Hosser and Antonio Jude.
And we are right back with you for the opening tip. Howard Samura here as Western Washington is set to meet Humboldt. I'm going to keep calling it Humboldt State. Jake, glad you're with us here on the mics. Great to have basketball back in the West Gym.
It's great. It's exciting. A couple really good matchups right off the bat. We have 4 great matchups in the next 2 days, and some GNAC basketball, although technically not a GNAC game, but seeing Western Washington, familiar foe for SFU, always exciting. Well-coached athletic team as always, so let's just get it on, man.
Let's get it on. I agree with you. There's going to be so many fun players, and we talked about it right off the top. Jonathan Ned wearing number 13 in white for Western Washington, the transfer to the University of Georgia. So we'll be watching him with great interest here. Cam Timmons, the 6'11", 295-pound center.
Oh my goodness.
Looks like he's going to come and jump the opening tip here against, is that B.J. Coley, I believe it is, for Western Washington. Coley checking in at 6'8", 205, but boy, Cam Timmons is a big package out there on the floor in green for Humboldt. And this GNAC CCAA Challenge now underway and winning the opening tip, Western Washington. D'Angelo Minnis, high-scoring guard. He's been letting it up in the preseason. He goes to Coley. BJ into the paint, to the window, and there is the big block there from Cam Timmons underneath.
You know, if Humboldt does get football back, maybe Cam Timmons is their left tackle or something. That's massive.
Yeah, he can protect the blind side. He's a big customer. As we mentioned, 6'11", 295, averaged 9.1 points per game last season. A lot of newcomers on the Humboldt team this season. That's Malik Davis, transfer from Drury University. Change of pace there with a dribble. Minnis quickly down the floor. They go to Kai Johnson. The skip pass down the floor and the give underneath. And great job there to lay it up and in by BJ Colley.
Very unselfish basketball from Western Washington. Just getting the look that they wanted and making them pay.
They did. Jonathan Ned gave it up underneath the basket. Colley with the high percentage shot. 2-0 lead for the Vikings. That's Ian Krishnan, number 4. Minnis guarding him. Great spin move off the window. Ian Krishnan.
This is a tough check on defense, right? GNAC player or defensive player of the year last year. Able to get in the paint.
Kentwood High School. We mentioned the same high school as Justin Sieber, the Simon Fraser quarterback. Colley again. They go to the corner. Johnson to Ned quickly now. They go to Hornbuckle. And locking it down with 5 on the shot clock. Hornbuckle puts up the big triple.
He had no options left. Time was running down. Hand in the face, doesn't matter. What a shot.
Basketball fans, you're seeing some shot making early here in a 5-2 lead for Western Washington. Travel called underneath, and they're going to turn it over.
And Howie, do you feel a lot of energy on both sidelines here? Both coaches getting into it. It's exciting.
I do. 2 great conferences, and this is a great concept in the preseason. I love it. Kai Johnson for the Vikings now with the basketball. Western Washington with a 5-2 lead. We're just under 2 minutes into this contest. Here's Colley. Back up top they go to Minnis. Here's Minnis into the paint. The floater doesn't go. And ripped away there by Krishnan.
And you heard Tony Dominguez saying, go by him, and he just didn't do it.
Pulling up in transition, can't get the 3 ball to go there. That was Malik Davis. Minnis, great pass to Johnson, right to the rack.
Great elevation from Johnson. Western Washington, very unselfish basketball team.
They're giving it up, and they're getting lanes to the basket. Kai Johnson, 6'4", 185. Unable to score Humboldt there. Look at the break coming here with BJ Colley right down the floor, and he slam dunks the basketball. Huge lead here, a 7-point advantage early for the Vikings, and a timeout called on the floor.
Yeah, and that's your first dunk of the season at West Gym, which is exciting. And we actually, funny story, Howie, a little bit of an aside, we had a broken backboard in practice yesterday, so we were a little bit nervous about that, but our wonderful staff was able to repair it. It's that basket right there.
Oh my
but could you imagine the first dunk, broken backboard?
Any word trickle out as to did it break on a dunk by a Simon Fraser player?
I believe it was Nigel Hilton.
Oh, yeah, Nigel Hilton.
I believe he threw it down pretty hard, and I don't know if it was quite like the Shack where it fell onto the floor, but there was definitely shattered glass everywhere.
Well, the legend of Nigel Hilton, you'll see him wearing number 23, 6'8", 205, out of Toronto, Ontario, and he'll be playing for Simon Fraser in the next game, so it'll be interesting to watch him. Back to live action now. 9-2 trailing is the Humboldt. Malik Davis into the paint to give it up underneath, and the big man off the glass. Soft hands from Cam Timmons.
And Cam Timmons is just so much bigger than everybody, it feels like.
Whew, he's a wide body. Fun to watch 44. Here's Colley into the paint. Skip it, fading. Unable to get it there was Ned. And quickly Timmons gobbles up the rebound. Marlon Ruffin. Pinball underneath. The big man with the soft hands finishes.
What was the player's name? Robert Tractor Trailer?
Oh, brilliant, my friend.
Is that not an apt comparison?
I think so. Yeah. Big motor, soft hands, tractor trailer out of Michigan, of course. Went to the NBA.
But for him to come all the way down, he gets the rebound on the defensive end, hustles all the way down, gets the offensive board, and then gets it in. Great effort from 44.
Smooth by Cam Timmons. 6'1", 295. Redshirt sophomore. Shout out to everybody watching from Ashburn, Virginia, and Highland High School. Big man again, one-on-one in the post against Colley, up and under, no call there. Loose ball. Humboldt hungry for the basket, going right to the rim. Jaden Edwards, the team's leading scorer last season.
Well, the Humboldt timeout really worked, eh?
It really did. Some nice energy for head coach Tay Norwood's team. Here they come down. Dunk number 2. BJ Colley.
Now be careful, BJ, please. We can't have another broken backboard here, okay?
He's taking it out on the rims here. Western with that 11-point lead. Look at Minnis. Right down the floor, the easy layup.
You can see Steve Hansen entering the space, probably scouting out a couple really good teams here right now.
Well, you know what? He's going to play these Vikings on December the 3rd, Jake, as you know, but he's also playing Humboldt tomorrow. And there's a basket by Humboldt. The Lumberjacks going to the basket there to make it 13-10. Kai Johnson cross court. Colley now for 3. Doesn't have the touch there. Ned with a tip, but into the hands of the Lumberjacks. Into the paint they go.
Timmons.
Big man working hard underneath. Kicks it back out for the 15-footer, and that's going to go for Marlon Ruffin.
Oh, heads up. Another dunk coming the way.
This time he's going to feather it home.
Wow.
DJ Colley with 6 here in this opening quarter, or half rather. He is doing a great job. Ruffin to Edwards into the paint. Jaden with the basket there. Edwards now with 4. And of course, we mentioned off the top, the son of Blue Edwards, who was such a fan favorite here in the early 90s or the mid 90s with the Vancouver Grizzlies. It shows you how old I am. I can remember when he was born.
Oh yeah, you had some time with the Grizzlies, if I recall.
Yeah,
Howie,
yeah.
There's a lot of interesting NBA connections, as you mentioned.
Hey, there are, yes. Mention them. I mean, there's
so Western Washington, is it Nick Welp?
Nick Welp, yeah, the son of Christian Welp, if people can remember, drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round out of the University of Washington. The late Chris Welp was a 7-footer, I think of German descent, might have even played on the German national team. Nick, his son, 6'9", 225, and has had some solid performances in the preseason. And we've got another one in the next game.
It's, I believe, the cousin of the Ball brothers.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's Andre Ball.
Andre Ball, yes. So some direct NBA connections, and that's kind of cool to see here in the gym today among these 3 visiting teams.
I think the other thing, too, that's interesting is you're just seeing a lot of the talent level at the D2 level is so high. A lot of players who, are at D1 and, they don't want to sit on the bench, or they don't want to, they want to play immediately. A lot of the time they're dropping down to the D2 level, and, we've seen that with SFU with 3 alone on the SFU roster.
Well, yeah, and Cam Timmons, the big guy, he's from Howard University, so he's a Division I kid as well. Game now locked at 15 here. We're seeing some pressure from Humboldt. Right down the floor, though. Western Washington, their speed in the backcourt's been exceptional.
Well, Kai Johnson totally faked him out and able to finish.
Krishnan follows his miss. Working hard, Ian Krishnan. And he's going to get that one to go.
I believe Ian Krishnan was a D1 drop down as well.
Central Connecticut State, you're right about that. So they're everywhere here in the gym. Of course, the Simon Fraser Red Leafs have their share as well, and we'll see some of them in the next game, obviously starting at 7:30.
A lot of high-quality basketball. That is the difference, I think, from maybe 7-8 years ago. Now you're seeing a lot of high-level D2 college basketball.
Yeah, transfer portal is reshaping things as teams are bringing players in and out, but getting a lot of the NCAA Division I drop-downs, obviously. That is Lucas Holden, the senior. Colley will kick it back out. Kai Holden will set it up to sophomore from Olympia, Washington. Great move to the basket, challenges the defense. Krishnan there. And we'll see what's going to happen here foul-wise. Krishnan getting called for the foul underneath.
And Kai Johnson's not the biggest guy, but we've seen him go to the rack hard.
You know what I love? I love the U.S. players that elect to come up here and play football. And you know what? We see them. And Kai Johnson is from Olympia High School. It's the same high school as Isaac Muckian.
Again,
there we go, right?
Lots of connections.
There are some connections. I don't know if he's spying the SFU football players, but I think they're either just getting out of practice or...
It'd be about this time. Around this time they'd be coming out. And probably frozen right now.
Nice and cold for their game tomorrow. Right here at Terry Fox Field. 18-18 tie. A great opening salvo here in the GNAC CCAA Challenge. Malik Davis, number 11, working it. 3-ball put up there. Follow the miss right to it. Josh Barenbaum. And he's going to get it to go. Barenbaum out of the University of North Florida. 6'8", 225. Some big boys in this Humboldt lineup. Here's Holden, the senior. Kicks it back out to Minnis.
Thomas Nelson with the foul, looks like.
Thomas Nelson of Humboldt, the 6'3", 200-pound guard forward, getting called for the foul. So 20 on the shot clock as the Vikings inbound the basketball. Hornbuckle, who's also scored it very well. He goes to Holden, puts up the 3, and Lucas Holden knocks down the big triple. Davis kicks it back out top. He goes there to Rylan O'Brien. O'Brien, high arcing floater, won't go. And here's Western Washington again, pulling up in transition. And Hornbuckle almost able to knock down the triple. Here's O'Brien again. Crash and bang player in the paint. He's working hard against the Viking guards.
A few too many opportunities there given by Western Washington. Ball is loose on the floor. Couldn't really get a hold of it. Bad things are going to happen if the opposing team just keeps getting their hands on the ball.
Kai Johnson getting called for the foul, his second of the game, so he's going to take a seat.
And that's going to hurt because he's been terrific today so far.
Very productive player. In his place, Matthew Mays. He's a sophomore from Inglewood, California, on the transfer from West LA College now into the basketball game. As well coming in, Nick Welp, number 20. Kick it out for the 3. Minnis the triple off the iron. Spin move in the paint, and it's going to result in a basket for Lucas Holden.
That was smooth. Smooth like butter on that one.
So a game where it's a one-possession contest through much of this opening half. Great tempo. Jump in the lanes there is Mays, and he goes right to the rack. Can't get it to go. Krishnan, solid defense there as O'Brien comes in and grabs the basketball.
Looks like Mays is coming up a little bit hobbled there. Hopefully he's not too hurt, but still in the game.
Showed some verticality there. Getting it back now is Amari Green. San Diego native, the skip pass underneath. Barenbaum posting his man up. Nice move there by Josh Barenbaum against Jonathan Ned. You got to talk about the bodies and the height that the Humboldt can bring into the game. They're physical players and they're strong guys too. Yeah, thick bodies.
The play style is a bit different. Humboldt's definitely a bit more of a grittier, tougher type of team because, I mean, they haven't even attempted a three-pointer where Western Washington, we're seeing them in transition shooting threes. I think Western Washington's a little bit more methodical, a little bit smoother maybe, whereas Humboldt's grit and grind, get the offensive board, which they've done a ton of time. They're out rebounding Western Washington on the O boards 5-1.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's a pretty significant amount, and they're also ahead on the defensive boards as well. So tough team, lots of size, lots of beef on Humboldt.
Certainly, you look at what Western Washington brings from the guard trio there of Kai Johnson, Daniel Hornbuckle, and D'Angelo Minnis. Simon Fraser, I mean, obviously, they've got a new look this year, but they know that they have to contend with the speed of that speedy backcourt when they meet in league play.
Well, especially someone like Minnis, Steve Hansen, he knows this guy. He knows Minnis. He's one of the better defensive players in the GNAC. He was the defensive player of the year in the GNAC. But, this is going to be a really good opportunity for him to, get a preview for December 3rd. They're not going to sit anybody. They're going to play their guys. This is a big game for Western Washington. They had a not the toughest maybe preseason schedule, but they're coming out on all cylinders, and you're going to see a real test on December 3rd.
Minnis, in games against Pac West teams, had 21 points and 5 assists against Douglas College, and then he had 21 points in 20 minutes against Abbotsford's Columbia Bible College Bearcats. So he has filled it up against Pac West competition in the non-counting portion of the exhibition season. Here they come again. The Vikings kick it back out for 3, and Welp just off the mark there from the baseline corner. Scramble for a loose ball. And they're going to say it went off of Daniel Hornbulk of the Vikings. It'll stay with the Lumberjacks.
And you can see Western definitely a little bit more of a perimeter team. Not going into the paint too much right now.
Daniel Hornbuckle comes in averaging 14 a game last season. He's going to get it, put up a 3 ball. Off the mark, O'Brien rips it away. And here they come again. The Lumberjacks, Amari Green kicks it out. 3 ball. It's going to go over the goal. The shot hoisted by Marlon Ruffin. Marlon Ruffin, the transfer from Division I Portland State, a well-traveled guy to Madison, Wisconsin. And here comes Cam Timmons, the big guy. Took a breather. He's back into the game, number 44 in green. And he'll resume that rivalry with BJ Cawley of the Vikings. Lucas Holden.
Nice step back.
Footer.
Smooth.
The Anaheim Hills, California native Lucas Holden, a senior on this Vikings team. Showing the ability to be a go-to scorer in the half court there. Knifing to the basket, Edwards unable to score it. Gets his own rebound, can't get it. Gets it back again. This time plays right through the contact, Jake.
And for a guard to get his own rebound 3 times. Tough dude, man. Tough dude.
Tough guy, that is for sure. 6'4", 220. Jaden Edwards. Spin move there, off his foot. Unfortunate for the Vikings. And that's Amari Green. Kicks it back out. 3 ball. Bingo for Rylan O'Brien.
That's the first 3 ball of the day for Humboldt.
And Humboldt takes the lead now at 27-25 to reach the midway mark of this opening half.
I was going to say, look at the energy on the Humboldt bench. All the players standing up. It's a tough environment.
Tay Norwood, in his second year as the head coach at Cal Poly, really got things going from a culture standpoint. They are hyped and they're ready to play here in a real battle with Western Washington. Lucas Holden inbounding the basketball underneath the Welp. Ooh, and Timmons. Here's Cawley. Great move to get around the big man. Can't get it to fall. Scramble for a loose ball.
Someone dipped the ball in butter before that?
It looked like it. There's a give underneath, and the foul is going to get called underneath. Was that Welp, I think, that grabbed him? Or no, it's going to go against Barenbaum. Or did I just call it foul against the player?
Lucas Holden. I think it was Lucas Holden.
I'm sorry.
I was looking at my roster.
There we go. So stepping up to the free throw line, it's going to be Ruffin. We'll just refer to the guys in green as Humboldt, but they're Cal Poly Humboldt, and it's the first year they're officially known as that. They're formerly, as we mentioned off the top, Humboldt State. They'll make the free throws and make it a 4-point lead. Jonathan Ned set the check in at the next stoppage for Western Washington. Minnis to Mays on the wing back up top. Holden. Tries to turn a corner. Great job to get it down the floor. There's Edwards, and he will put it down with 2 hands.
First of all, you got to give credit to Amari Green. What a steal. And then to have the wherewithal to throw it up to Blue Edwards. And Blue Edwards, not Blue Edwards, pardon me. Jaden Edwards.
Jaden Edwards, yeah.
His head almost hit the top of the scoreboard there. That was amazing.
Well, Blue would have done the same thing in that situation. Jaden dunking it there, the feed off the steal, as you mentioned. Here's Holden. Just off the mark. Well tipped, but I think he's going to get called for a foul underneath, or
To me, it looked like an over-the-back call. And I think that is what it's going to be. No, never mind. I think me and you were thinking the same thing, that it was call on Welt, but I guess not.
No, instead, the call is going to be against O'Brien, I guess. His first of the game, Rylan O'Brien. 31-25 Humboldt on a bit of a run here, showing some great energy. The Western in the front court inbounding with 20 on the shot clock. 3-ball, beautiful swish from Jonathan Ned. 6'9", 220. And he strokes the triple there. Into the paint. The big man from the wing knocks it down. Cam Timmons. He's got a soft pair of hands, whether he's rebounding or shooting it. Pull up from 15 is good for Hornbuckle. And the offense picking up from both teams. 33-30. Humboldt with the lead and the basketball. Dribble into the paint to jump stop, a kick back up top to Edwards. He'll kick back up top to Ruffin. And Ned with the rebound. Ooh, a lot of mustard on that one from Ned. Turned over off the window. Oh. Ooh, and the foul's going to get called against Minnis. They were trying to work the alley-oop there to Edwards, I think, underneath.
I don't know if I would call that foul. I think he didn't impede him enough to...
Certainly a show of surprise in the face of D'Angelo Minnis. So Minnis with his second will take a seat. Into the game comes Lucas Holden. So a long look in terms of the defensive look of these Vikings right now.
Yeah.
Welp stands his ground underneath. Nick Welp.
Again with Nick Welp, as you mentioned, his father, Christian, as Jeff Evans, SID for Western Washington has mentioned. His father's also the all-time leading scorer for the Washington Huskies as well.
Well, great point to mention, of course, and that's how I came to know of him when I was younger and hearing about his exploits with the UW. Here's Humboldt coming back down the floor. Little indecision there from Malik Davis, but they kick it out to Edwards. He can't get it to go. Ripped out of the sky by B.J. Cawley, the big man across half court. Scramble for a ball on the floor. Welp comes in to get it. He goes cross court, and they work it to Ned for the triple. Bingo! Jonathan Ned has a smooth touch.
Once again, Jonathan Ned of the SEC previous to this. In Georgia, he was a Bulldog.
Get those guys in from the SEC and let them play up here on Burnaby Mountain. I love it.
Wow.
Jake, it's fun to watch, and we're so glad to have the great game back in the West Gym. Simon Fraser, of course, set to play at 7:30. We'll have the call as that one as well as they play Cal State Dominguez Hills. And Dominguez Hills actually ranked higher in the CCAA preseason poll than Humboldt. They were actually seated 4th in the coaches poll, so that's another great team we're going to see.
Well, I mean, for SFU, like, what more could you want? You start your season against UBC in a really packed house, a lot of pandemonium there, and then you're in this tournament, and you're going to play two really good teams. Like, you're starting on all cylinders, so hopefully it doesn't burn them out.
Yeah.
But it's a great way to kick off your year. You can't sleepwalk into the season anymore, right? You don't have that excuse because you're playing three really good teams. It's going to be exciting.
I have never called a season opener because I'm always covering the high school football final. I made a bit of a change in the schedule this year as I'm changing some things in my life, but I'm so thrilled to have a chance to be in this gym for the Western Washington doubleheaders. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's always, first of all, it always feels like regardless of preseason rankings that game is always close, whether it's a close loss or a close win for SFU. On both fronts, whether it's the women's team or the men's team, it's always this tight, narrowly contested game and a packed audience as well. So it's going to be a great day, and that's the day after the Shrum Bowl as well. So big weekend for SFU.
What a weekend on campus it's going to be, and that Shrum Bowl is going to bring huge excitement up the hill. So back to live action. We're locked at 33, 7:24 from the break, and here comes Malik Davis with the basketball. Humboldt from Arcata, California. Davis to skip underneath. against the towers in the forest, can't get it to go. And BJ Colley, the quick outlet, down the floor they go, and Holden rises to lay it down. 35-33 Western Washington.
Holden's been terrific today.
Right down the floor they come, unable to score it. Bryce Mitchell, his first action of this half, can't score it. Great dish to Welp underneath. Daniel Hornbuckle dished a dime.
He fooled me too. I hope he didn't fool our camera people, but he fooled me.
Welp ran hard, and he was able to, or Holden rather, to get the finish there. Here's a off-balance shot that's not going to fall for Davis. Quickly down the floor, Holden kicks it back up top. Hornbuckle for three. Daniel Hornbuckle.
And that wasn't an easy three. That was a closeout, hand-in-the-face type three.
And look at the run Western is on to take a 7-point lead. They're playing their best basketball of the half with 6 minutes to go in our opening half here. Three ball swished at the other end, though, just like that from Josh Berenbaum. Colley, top of the key. Holden, NBA three is not going to find the mark there.
Bit of a heat check there. But he's been great all game. But what a start to this game. Again, the contrasting styles make great matchups. And
yeah, Lucas Holden, 6'7" senior, I think really steps into a big role. And, of course, the Western Washington Vikings happy to have a guy who can bring some leadership and really bring it on the floor. Number 11's been impressive in this opening half. Davis again. Three ball just off the mark there from O'Brien. And again, quickly, Colley. The big guys can handle the ball right down the floor. The full 94 for BJ Colley.
Tough and physical, able to bounce off the contact and get it off the glass to go.
Down to 5:20 remaining. Here's Davis, has a lane, kicks it back up top to O'Brien. Physically stripped of the ball, though. Colley now with the basketball. Edwards guarding him one-on-one down the floor. Colley spins, lays it up and in. He's going to get the end one. Jaden Edwards fouled him at the last second.
Strategy for Western. Give this guy the ball and let him just go into the paint.
I mean, here's a kid who's they're big. He starts out with 2 slam dunks to start this game. Then he shows you the 3-ball touch he has. Yeah. Now he's showing you the open floor game. Colley, impressive to say the least.
Yeah, he is the Energizer Bunny right now for Western Washington. My goodness.
They played Lincoln University in one of their preseason games, 12 points and 4 blocks as well. So Colley doing it all, the redshirt freshman out of Mariner High School. 5 minutes to go this half. O'Brien back on top. Here he goes to Ruffin. Malik Davis, view obscured by the bench here, but he's got the ball, kicks it back up top to O'Brien. Hornbuckle right in his face, can't get the 3-ball to go. Look at the tough play underneath there by Timmons.
And you saw him, he boxed out perfectly. He got right underneath 23.
Certainly uses the attributes well as well. He knows what he has and he knows how to use it underneath. Great surge here by the Vikings. Entry down to Western Washington underneath. What a great job by Welp underneath. Nick Welp with a great move. So now pushing the lead out to 9 points. Colley not biting on the crossover underneath. Kick it back out to Timmons. Looking to set the high screen there, Timmons. Davis from 17 can't get it to go. Rebound ripped away by Hornbuckle. Daniel Hornbuckle over half court, little hesitation dribble. They go cross court now. Ned for 3. That one just off the mark. Some good defense there from Ian Krishnan. Here's Marlon Ruffin. Oh! 2 Vikings converge on him in the paint. Whistle blows and good things are going to happen for Humboldt.
What a crossover from Ruffin, though. Ooh. And he took a bit of a spill there, so I'm glad he's okay, but nice finish by him.
Yeah, Western brought the bodies underneath. Western Washington, though, looking a little stale there. Parts of this first half have really found their juice over the last couple of minutes, and boy, they've been exciting to watch. I'm so impressed with BJ Colley and Lucas Holden, they've looked really good for Western Washington.
Absolutely, and you know, we're seeing some toughness from them too. At the beginning, I was kind of saying they're more a perimeter team, and then they're like, okay, well, I'm just going to dunk the ball now 10 more times. So they've been great in transition as well. Like a really smart team. Like in transition, no look passes, finding guys in the corner for threes. Really, really well athletic and disciplined team. And for Humboldt, again, you're talking a bit more of a beefier, bruisier kind of the grit and grind Memphis Grizzlies old school type of defense. That's what they remind me of.
Hey, Tony Dominguez is already in his 11th season as the head coach, and it's been that long since Western Washington won the national championship, right? I mean, they used to have a football program. I know that their identity really shifted towards the men's basketball program when they won the national. But what that did, I think, for the GNAC is equally huge, just in terms of producing a national champion.
Absolutely, and I mean, we've seen it with Western on many fronts, right? We've seen them go to the Final Four in soccer, volleyball. They're always dominant as well.
Women's basketball last year going to the national final.
Exactly, they're just a well-rounded athletic department, I would say.
The rivals from just across the line, travel partners, the whole bit, and we can't wait until December the 3rd when that doubleheader happens here to open the GNAC season. It should be a terrific atmosphere here in the West Gym. Marlon Ruffin will step up to the free throw line. As we mentioned, he's a senior, 6'5", 195 out of Madison, Wisconsin. Home of the Badgers, and here he is at the free throw line. And he will make the and one work for his team. Vital points, the way Western Washington has been playing down the stretch drive of this first half. Matthew Mays now with the basketball. A little
confusion here.
Confusion there. That didn't look too good. We'll keep reminding ourselves that we're in early November still. Hornbuckle, step back, off the back iron, tipped. Great job there by Ned to chase down the loose ball. Look at the handle, into the paint, high arcer, won't go. Tipped off the window, and I believe that was at Welp?
That was Welp. And a steal. What is going on here?
8-point lead. They need this three ball from Krishnan. It's just shy of the mark off the front iron. Here comes Mays, quickly down the floor. Hornbuckle, three ball.
Hornbuckle has been electric from the three-point line today.
Shout out to Fairbanks, Alaska, the hometown of Hornbuckle, where he knocks down the nice jump shot there. Hope you're enjoying our broadcast of GNAC CCAA Challenge from Simon Fraser University, the only non-American school in the NCAA. Huge win by the Simon Fraser women today.
Huge win.
Huge win over Chaminade.
And, this is their first real action as a team because they had a closed-door scrimmage against UBC. And, your first impression of the team has got to be strong after that. 76 points. Gemma Cutler, sophomore, dominating performance for the young player. Exciting to see. I'm excited to see them this year take that next step.
Gemma Cutler out of STA in North Vancouver. What a performance. Simon Fraser getting off to a great start with a lopsided victory over the Chaminade Silver Swords. .232 remaining. Free throw up, Krishnan, good. Western Washington has made a statement here, getting up near double digits in their lead here late in the first half. Ned to Mays, he gets it back as he crosses half court. High pass, corralled by Welp. He thought about the three. Instead, Isaac Morrow, number 24 now out on the floor. Isaac Morrow to Lakewood, Washington. And a player from the former program at Concordia. Here's Welp outside the arc. Nick will put it on the floor for Hornbuckle. He's going to side dish to Morrow. Puts it on the deck. Gets in some trouble. Passes out of a triple team. But Humboldt able to get it back here with Green. Green goes, and he's going to step on the sideline. It'll turn it over Western Washington, ball 1:57 left.
Yeah, a little careless with that pass. Bit of an advantageous pass completely across the court, but they will live to fight another day here.
Nick Welp, good time on the floor for number 20 as he takes a seat on the bench. Hornbuckle shaking Davis as he comes across half court. Ooh. Mays just inside the arc. Smooth look from Matthew Mays. Mays had 14 points in 14 minutes against Douglas College, so he can fill it up if left unattended to. Timmons, big man, makes the turn off the window.
What a drop step from Timmons. And he's just so big that you can't get around him.
I want to give you my comp, but it's going to maybe draw some boos from our audience, which is not correct. And you know that I'm going to say big country. Just in terms of the soft hands and the ability to do that drop step, man. It looked good.
It wasn't the ability that was the problem with Brian Reeves. We all know that. It was everything else, I think. But
I love your country if you're listening from Gans, Oklahoma. Here we go. Oh, trying to skip it. Picked off there by Mays. Oh, and
that's a foot foul, looks like.
Darius Gray trying to make a play there, the junior out of Willingboro, New Jersey. 42.2 seconds left, 27 on the shot clock here as the Vikings inbound. Quick job there, Morrow, with a quick hitter off the inbounds. Everything going Western Washington's way. I believe their largest lead of the game now is at 11 points. 56-45 as we count down the final half minute. 7-second difference in the clocks. Ooh. Coming up hard defensively, BJ Cawley.
That's going to sting because it resets the shot clock. There's your opportunity.
That is Amari Green, the San Diego native, stepping up to the free throw line. Jonathan Ned checking in. We've been impressed. Obviously, the well-credentialed one has looked good. Smooth release with those long levers from three. Here's Hornbuckle, or rather Green. Thomas Nelson now checking in number 10. Down to 20 seconds remaining. Hornbuckle. Davis on him.
Hornbuckle's going to shoot this, isn't he?
Ooh, repelled at the last second. Humboldt with a chance here. They'll get an easy one here with 1 second left, and that is going to be Malik Davis at the half. So our score at the break, 56-49. Entertaining anyone's game, Jake, but great to have basketball back, and we saw a spirited game there in the first half.
It was exciting. I really liked what I saw from Humboldt on the offensive board. The way they played defense, diving for loose balls. That played right at the end of the half. The block into a transition layup. They're fun to watch because of the grit and the energy from their bench. And then from Western Washington, are we ever going to get a Western Washington team that can't shoot the ball? Like every time I watch these guys, it's just like they're just lights out as shooters. They're really smart players. And we're seeing them drive to the hoop too. So it's just a fun game and a really back and forth half that looked like Western Washington kind of pulled away a little bit towards the end.
Yeah. Well, I can say this. Humboldt State leaves the CCAA, come to the GNAC. We'd love to see these guys play all the time here. It was fun to watch them. And the contrasting styles I loved. I thought it made a great entertaining game. So 56-49 our score here for Jacob Hall, Howard Samura here. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or 11 minutes time with some numbers from the first half. We'll set you up for the second half and get you ready for Simon Fraser, Cal State Dominguez Hills at 7:30. Back with more in a moment.
Up north, the elements shape us. And like those elements, we are powerful, strong, resilient. Our red leaf is the ultimate symbol of our unity. Behind this icon have stood generations of athletes and coaches from all over BC, across the country, and around the world, who have chosen our university to pursue their passion. Champions, Olympians, legends have made Burnaby Mountain their home.
This is it for the Grey Cup victory.
Basaglia's kick is up. It's good!
I had a dream that came into my head that one day I'd try and run across Canada.
I gotta set my goals high. Because I believe in miracles and I have to.
It doesn't get much better than perfect. SFU are your national champions.
Canada's first Olympic gold in women's wrestling.
Grounded in our strong, rich athletic history and united by the symbol of the SFU leaf, our athletes wear the SFU colors. Together, with pride. Every time we wear our leaf, we are inspired by that timeless sense of unity and harness that shared teamwork and determination to charge into the new season with a renewed sense of passion, inspiration, and commitment. We are the SFU Red Leafs. Welcome to our new era.
Dear college sports,
there's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
I am here to build bridges.
I'm here to promote inclusion.
To embrace diversity.
To learn from others.
I'm here to support my community.
I'm here to lift people up.
To engage.
To listen.
I am here to grow.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
I'm here to make a difference.
I'm here to create.
To innovate.
To do research that matters.
I am here to continue asking questions.
To continue learning.
To expand my horizons.
I am here to grow.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
I'm here to get more than a degree.
I'm here to explore.
To connect. To learn.
I am here to forge a new path.
To push myself. To set goals and achieve them.
I am here to win.
I'm here to grow.
And we're back with you here from the West Gym. Howard Samura, Jacob Hall. And we are at halftime of our first challenge game here between the GNAC and the CCAA. 56-49 our score, and those gremlins are creeping inside the stat machine here. They're not churning out the box score that we want, but I think we've got some numbers that we can go by. Let us know kind of who's leading the way here for Western Washington.
Well, I look at Hornbuckle, because the confidence of this young man, able to hit threes with hands in his face. 4 for 8. He was 4 for 6, pardon me, from three-point land. Who else really came out? I'd say Holden as well, because he did not play as many minutes. But in 10 minutes, 11 points, driving to the hoop.
5 of 7 from the field
Exactly.
in 10 minutes. Pretty impressive for Daniel Hornbuckle. And as well, 13 points, I think, to lead all scorers for Western Washington is BJ Colley.
Yes.
He's got 13 points, 6 of 8 from the floor. So look at the combined numbers from Holden and Colley, and that's a 6 of 8 and a 5 of 7. You can do the math, but that's great percentage from the low block.
And if you remember, Colley almost broke the rim on that first dunk. It was amazing. And I think from the Cal Poly side, we talked about Timmins a lot. 6 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds. I think there's probably a few more in there, to be honest with you, just because he was, he'd get the rebound, miss, get his own rebound, miss, get his own rebound, then. So we're talking about probably maybe 7 or 8.
Big man played how many minutes in that first half? 15 minutes. And boy, they want to. I don't think he was laboring at any point. I think coach was pretty happy. He was given a lot every second he was out there on the floor. So we're getting set to go here. 56-49, Western Washington in white with the lead. Humboldt will inbound the ball in the front court to start this second half of play. As we mentioned, some problems with the box score, so we can't give you the full numbers, but those numbers paint a good picture of what happened in a really competitive opening half of play. Ruffin inbounding the basketball to Davis. Malik Davis, shifty guard, guarded by Kai Johnson. As well, D'Angelo Minnis, number 5, back on the floor. He ran into some early foul problems. So did Kai Johnson for the Vikings. Nice moves in the paint, but Kai Johnson extends there. Kai Johnson, bigger than you think. He's 6'4", 185. He gets some nice things done from the guard spot.
But the problem is if he's standing beside Timmins, nobody looks big anymore.
That's right. Here's Minnis. Was having himself a half until he picked up that second quick foul. Colley the spin move.
What a crafty player, hey? Like, this guy's able to spin, never loses track of the rim, able to just
never losing track of the rim, I think, is a huge thing. I thought he was going to be off balance when he made that shot, but he finds a way to make a precision move underneath. Close miss there for Humboldt. Here comes the Vikes again with Minnis. Drives out Hornbuckle with another triple.
5 for 7.
5 for 7 from downtown.
5 for 7.
For Daniel Hornbuckle, lighting it up at the West Gym.
Close. Humboldt will keep the ball here.
That one going off of Colley.
But again, with Western Washington and these shooters, where do they find these guys? Like, all over the place.
That's a potent lineup and coming together quick here for head coach Dominguez and company. Timmins, the turnaround. Oh. Looks like he's holding a peach in his hand.
He's
got that
did
basketball.
He palm the ball like that?
Yeah, he's just holding it with one hand. He is a player to behold in the court here, number 44, as we mentioned, 6'11", 295. Johnson with a sweeping pass looking for Colley underneath. Instead, Davis, the give underneath to Edwards, and the foul is going to go underneath, and it's going to get called against Jonathan Ned.
And that's the type of style that Humboldt plays, right? They go to the hoop, they get those free throws, especially Edwards. High flying, as we saw earlier, with that emphatic two-hander.
He did, that's for sure. But I think, you know what, Western Washington, he was certainly on their radar in terms of scheming in that first half, and they never let him go wild, so good on them, the leading scorer from last season. Missed the first, makes the second, 61-50, 11-point lead for the Vikings. Ian Krishnan shadowing Minnis one-on-one here down the floor. Runs into the high screen from Colley. That shot doesn't go. Johnson with a rebound. Kicks it back up to Hornbuckle off the side iron. Great tip there back to Minnis by Colley. And Ned with a 3-ball. Ned.
Another one.
It's like he's got the shooting machine going in practice in the morning. Misses a couple of triples. Down the floor. Can't get it there from Davis. Quickly down the floor they come with Kai Johnson. 2-on-1.
Oh.
Johnson goes to the rack and he takes the physical contact there from Edwards.
Oh man, that was a lot of contact there. I hope he's all right because thankfully the padded net was there, but that was a lot of momentum going that way.
You can tell Kai's shaking it off as he gets to the free throw line. I thought the foul was on. It is on 20. They put it up now. The second foul of the game on Jaden Edwards. Jaden Edwards getting here via North Idaho College. Went to Roosevelt High School in Portland, Oregon. Of course, as we mentioned, the son of Blue Edwards. And if you think we're belaboring the point there, Blue Edwards, a beloved member of the 6-year run of these Vancouver Grizzlies, wasn't here the whole time, but was part of that expansion draft in 95-96 and a loved guy in this city.
Was he first round pick? What was the story there? I don't know.
First round pick. Who was that first year?
Oh, right.
That was Big Country.
Right.
As they had their slotted 6th pick, they were not allowed to get the first round pick because all the NBA GMs complained when Orlando got Shaq so early and answered back with Penny in the next draft. So 61-50 here.
Speaking of Big Country.
And that might be the first negative play Timmins has had in this game, a turnover there on a travel underneath.
Yeah, he's played so well.
I tell you, Ned, I think, has a bit of a Charlie horse here. He favored that as he got hit out by the three-point arc, and he limps off.
Yeah, he landed a little bit on that three-point shot. It looked like he might have rolled his ankle or something.
Might have done something, but a little tweak there, but he'll take a seat talking to the trainer at the end of the bench. Minnis shakes Davis, cuts through the paint, dishes out. Hornbuckle back up top to Holden. In the paint, the dish now. Shot clock at 14. Hoisted from the corner. Doesn't go there for Minnis. Chased down.
Is Hornbuckle going to shoot it again from 3? He's thinking about it.
He's thinking about it. He's got a big smile on his face, but he gives it up instead to B.J. Colley. The drive, the dish, the high arcer is not going to go there for Holden. Chased down by Colley. Another board. Oh, my goodness. B.J. Colley lays it up and in.
Just a grown man. Just able to kind of football tackle his way into the paint. What a stud that guy is.
Lead now at 13. Krishnan, he puts up a much-needed triple to make it a 10-point lead. Humboldt's not going to fade away without a fight here early in the second half.
I think what you're going to see from Humboldt is they're going to continue to go hard at the paint. They're 90% from the free throw line, whereas Western right now is 40%. So I think just the way that Humboldt plays, naturally they're going to go more aggressive, low paint type of offense.
Yeah, and maybe that's going to open up some stuff on the perimeter, but you're right, they got to go where they can be the most successful, and that's banging inside, and Cam Timmins big in that equation.
Overall, can't have a better opener, I guess. Even though it's not SFU, it's still great to see,
Getting the crowd ready as the crowd files in here for that second game, a 7:30 tip-off, and we'll have the call there when Simon Fraser faces Cal State Dominguez Hills, also of the CCAA.
Just looking at the box score, B.J. Colley 8 for 10.
Wow,
he's been so good driving, getting his own rebounds, defensively playing well, and really highlight plays that he's making look so smooth and easy. Very impressed with B.J. Colley.
You betcha. Game high 17 for B.J. Colley. Krishnan on the other side with a team high 15, just knocked down that triple. And joining this Humboldt group in the last substitution was Alonzo Washington, I believe. No, I'm mistaken. It's Bryce Mitchell, 6'5", 190, a big guard out of Oceanside, California. He's now out there for the green, guarding the inbounds pass. Here's Hornbuckle. He's been red hot from outside. He's going to handle the ball coming up the floor against Amari Green. Minnis, the drive, the dish back outside to Colley into the paint. Good defense there by Humboldt. Dispossesses him of the ball, but they get it right back.
Yeah, Timmons already picked up his ball and couldn't dribble anymore. And doesn't matter apparently though.
A steal, 2-on-1 they come. And a great job there. We just called his name, and Bryce Mitchell works the 2-on-1 and scores it to make it 63-55. There's Kai Johnson working with that 8-point lead. He's going to get it back from Hornbuckle. Kai trying to shake his defender. Nice pass. Holden right to the rack.
The underhand pass across the court, looking like Steve Nash. And then great drive from Holden.
Great point. And anytime you bring up Steve Nash, you know what? I love it because he's our guy here from the province of British Columbia. Great to hear his name in the broadcast. But, hey, great spacing on the floor offensively, Western Washington. They make things happen. They develop those lanes on the floor. And Holden, I mean, he doesn't look like the most athletic guy. He doesn't pass that eye test, but he gets there.
Yeah, and I mean on that play, just a quick little pump fake gave him so much space. And he's an athletic dude. He can fly to the rim, and he's able to finish at the point of contact. So, you know, you look at Western Washington, just the speed they play at creates so much confusion. You don't know what you're doing, and you're playing against a way bigger team. You have to be smarter than them.
Lucas Holden is now 6 of 9 from the field, and he's got 13 points in this game. So he's one of 3 double-digit scorers, Hornbuckle and B.J. Colley, the others for the Western Washington Vikings.
I think for Western, you just got to keep doing what you're doing. Just keep up with that speed, that rapid pace of offense, that ball movement. Because Humboldt, again, they're maybe a bit more, they're not as fast, they're not as quick, they're not as twitchy as you. So you got to take advantage where you can take advantage.
Well, identifying the new look Vikings, their player rotations, and you know where things are going to happen in a good way for them. It builds that excitement for that December the 3rd conference opener right here at the West Gym. Of course, we'll have that game for you.
A pretty small lineup for Western right now. Their tallest player is B.J. Colley, 6'8", kind of playing the de facto center. But the rest mostly guard level or guard size players.
We'll see if Humboldt can solve some things and get some offensive mojo happening. They come close on that long shot, can't make it go. It's still a 10-point game. Look at this move by Johnson. He just knifes into the paint, knocked to the floor. Both he and Amari Green being helped up. Green being called for the block.
When I saw Kai Johnson take off, I'm like, is he going to try and dunk on this guy? But we've seen him fly to the hoop today.
That is one heck of a talented guard group when you look at Johnson, Minnis, and Hornbuckle for these Vikings. Good on the first. Back to an 11-point lead here. Western faltered at one point of the first half, but that late surge really got them going. They're 2 for 2 from the stripe, and the lead now at 12. Amari Green. O'Brien out to meet that pass on the outside of the perimeter. Now they give the big man his touch. Cam Timmons, he'll kick across court for 3. And trying to save it, falling out of bounds. That was Bryce Mitchell. I want the big man, if I'm a Humboldt fan, to try to score it underneath.
It was a good feed, but you got a bit of a size advantage, right? That's kind of the game for Humboldt right now.
And they bring Welp in to get a little bit bigger underneath. Number 20 now back into the game for Western Washington. Great job there. Johnson can't get the basketball. It'll stay with the Lumberjacks. That's going to be Amari Green inbounding. 5 minutes into this second half of play. Back up top they go to Rylan O'Brien. Here's Green, rubbed off. His check rubbed off on a high screen. Can't get that shot to go, and Welp. Both he and Holden right there for the basketball. Welp will get it. He'll go quickly down the floor with those guards. Here's Holden. He'll put up a tough 3. And yeah, Josh Berenbaum right in his face.
And that lead's starting to grow. That's a tough 3 to take if you're Humboldt.
Wow. That is a big, big shot. A 15-point lead, largest of the game. 15 points with 15 minutes remaining. And this time they go underneath from the high-low, and Timmins cannot handle that wild pass from Berenbaum at the top. Important right now to watch the body language of Humboldt and what kind of fight, Jake, that they've got in them here. They're going to have to muster over the last 15 minutes.
And they just had wholesale lineup change, so Edwards back in the game, as well as Krishnan as well. Two of their better players. Ooh.
Great job there by Krishnan. He gets it in and finds a cutting Ruffin going to the basket. And here will be the pressure. They're going to keep it on, see what they can do. They back off now.
They're pressing all the way up the court, I guess.
Malik Davis.
It's that time of the game. They're going to need some quick turnovers.
Yeah, they need to press the go button, does Team Green here. Here's Kai Johnson. Holden looking to set a high screen. Good job there from Davis, but Hornbuckle will get it back. 4 on the shot clock.
Travel.
Whistle will blow in a travel and a good defensive stand here by Humboldt.
It feels like well, now not a 15-point lead, a 13-point lead, but does feel like certainly not insurmountable. Just the way that the ball has been on the floor a lot, and we're seeing a lot of kind of sloppy play in the last little bit here. So you got to stay mentally with it if you're Western. This game's far from over.
And win or lose, Humboldt wants to get that. Every team does this early in the season. Can learn some valuable lessons here as the shot put up rattles home, and a good job there from Berenbaum to will that one home. Makes it a 10-point game, and a steal by Krishnan. Underneath they go, and they will lay it up and in. Here's the comeback from Ruffin to make it an 8-point game.
Got to think a timeout's coming at some point for Western right now, yeah.
Humboldt manufactures something just as you were talking about, Jake. They find a spark, and they cut 7 points off the lead in a hurry.
And in what, like 30 seconds it felt like?
Just what the basketball gods ordered for this team. They needed that.
Yeah, I think if you're Humboldt, you're obviously feeling pretty good going into this timeout. If you're Western, you're like, guys, we just got to not turn the ball over. And it's off of, it's not even in transition. It's inbounding. Two really bad inbound plays from Western Washington cost them 4 points.
Well, Tay Norwood found a good, the head coach in his second season at the helm of this Cal Poly Humboldt Lumberjacks team, found a good combination. He's got some good size and length out there. Marlon Ruffin, number 15. One of them. Josh Berenbaum as well. Edwards, number 20. It's good size at the guard spot there. Here's Holden across half court, finding Minnis. D'Angelo guarded by Edwards. Here's a Ned for 3 off the iron. Welp with a tip underneath, but it's going to power Humboldt on a 3-on-0 down the floor, and a dunk there by Marlon Ruffin. And this is a completely different game, Jake. It's a 2-possession game.
Oh, man, I think this defense from Humboldt is stifling right now, Western Washington. And
Minnis shaking defenders.
Oh,
great no-look underneath. Ned, the intended recipient, is fouled, and that's a beautiful play by D'Angelo Minnis.
That was incredible. That was Showtime basketball and one mixtape.
Loved it. Yeah, for the purist in us all, you love to see that kind of stuff. D'Angelo Minnis doing a great job of bringing out the bag of tricks there at just the time it was needed. Nothing flashy. It was all needed. And a great job there. Western's got to hope this is where their rally starts. Welp, great energy off the bench on the boards there for Western Washington. He'll take a seat. BJ Colley coming back into the game. Not a bad sub there. And Ned with the make.
That's a huge 2 points for Western to stop the bleeding a little bit.
You better believe it. Stop the bleeding. You were just talking about it. Western Washington was looking almost invincible there for a number of possessions, but Humboldt unlocked the door, found a way to score. Big step into the paint, just couldn't get it off his hip, and quickly down the floor now. They come behind the back up top by Johnson to Minnis for 3. Bingo!
Wow. Oh, wait, hold on now. A warning on a delay of game, it looks like, for Western. But let's not let that
diminish what Kai Johnson
just did. Round the back, finding Minnis, and Minnis just draining it from 3. More than just a defender. Wow.
Yeah, it's a little bit breathtaking, I'd say. Here's Davis into the paint. Ooh, and he lost the pivot underneath. He's going to turn it over. A tough break for number 11 in green.
Yeah, I want to say as well, it's really refreshing, too, when you see a team have fun when they play, around the back, through the legs, all that stuff. And a coach not, getting mad at that. I think that's kind of the way a lot of coaches are now, is they're accepting. Hey, they're going to have fun with it. They're going to do different things. It's not going to be, the 1960s Boston Celtics, where you're only dribbling with your right hand, right? Things have changed, right?
No, they certainly have.
So it's fun to see a team like Western Washington really showtime in the GNAC. I don't know.
The showtime in the GNAC. Hey, did you see Minnis after he made the 3?
Yeah.
Dialed it up, and he was.
He was calling back.
He was calling back home long distance. D'Angelo Minnis dials it up long distance. Back to Kent, Washington.
Yeah.
But. Far enough that you got to put the receiver to your
international minutes too.
That's right,
in Canada now. So
exactly. Now that's a talented group in the backcourt, and if you're Simon Fraser, you look at that and you got to go out and match that level, and you get to see that this early in the season. I think as you get ready for your own home opener against Western Washington, you got to think David Penny, Elliot Demakulang, and all those guys are they know what they're in for, and they know how good these guys are, but their games have also improved. And David Penny, I thought he looked really good against UBC, and the performance he put on dishing the ball in the GNAC, he wants to win that assist title. I think Simon Fraser's backcourt also in for a very good season this year.
And now their front court, because they got so much size, and we'll talk more at length, obviously, just under an hour, which is super exciting for me.
Wow, it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
stay tuned. 7:30 tip for that one. And is it the classic case of falling behind by a bit too much? You use a lot in the rally, but yet don't have enough to sustain it, because Western's finding a second win with Minnis sweeping into the paint. The follow by Colley.
That was not planned. He just went for that. An amazing play from Colley again.
BJ Colley, what a great player he is.
Such a high efficiency player too.
Here's Barenbaum, a little hesitation reversed by the big man. So keep this at 11 with 11:26 remaining.
Whoa.
Here's Colley.
And one.
He gets fouled from behind. His third dunk of the game, if that counts. The official's talking this thing over. What did you see there, Jake? A foul as he...
It looked like a push in the back, but I think he was already in air. Could be a dangerous play, but it wasn't too hard of a push from Barenbaum.
Colley is a player and a half. Wow. Oh, the points went up on the wrong side. Exactly. There they go. So now we're to a 13-point lead, 79-66. Certainly impressive. Western Washington finding their second win here after a nice rally. Determined defensive play by Humboldt.
And, just with BJ Colley, as we've seen him be their leading scorer today, 21 points, but 10 for 12. Wow. And he matched that with, or he missed his only 3 attempt, but still, 10 for 12. He is lights out. He gets the ball, and it's in the hoop today.
Yeah, he's had one heck of a basketball
game. How many
game.
dunks has he had today? At least 4. He's been amazing today.
Yeah, I thought that was his third. Maybe that is his. No, it's his fourth. You're right. It's his fourth dunk. But he's done some things away from the basket as well, and he's shown you the handle. He's gone coast to coast to lay the ball up and in. I think he's a redshirt freshman. This is exciting for Western Washington.
well, if a guy like that's going to be there for another, this season and then
three more.
Oh, can you imagine by the end of his tenure when he's, 21, 22, really filling into his frame?
Everett
as
Washington,
if he hasn't already filled into his frame, but
yeah, he's I think he's got some. He can add some strength. There's no question. In the upper body, their lower body too. He's going to be a specimen. But yeah, it's fun to watch. When you see the schematics of a team in the early part of the season and doing the projection, the chemistry has certainly been there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and it's, again, no surprise that they're a good basketball team because they're always a good basketball team. But it's always funny to see, they can shoot every year. It doesn't matter. And it just feels like, they'll have great seniors. And you're like, well, they can't possibly be good anymore because they just graduated 5 of their starters. And it doesn't matter because they just have another, rotation full of young guys. It's just, they know what they're doing in Bellingham.
Hey, tomorrow, 7:30, Cam Timmins against the Simon Fraser Post.
Oh,
it's going to be interesting to watch.
That's a matchup. So if it's Lefebvre or if it's Nigel Hilton or Zach Stone, you're talking about. Yeah. That's a good way to get ready for the year.
Yeah, so it's a good way to find out what an immovable force feels like in the paint and what you have to do using the rest of your instincts as a player to try and limit that guy down low. It's going to be great for Simon Fraser to face that in the early going. That's going to be 7:30 tomorrow. Humboldt against Simon Fraser. Here come the Lumberjacks down the floor, and look at that. Josh Berenbaum pulls up and knocks down the triple.
2 for 2 from three-point line.
Still plenty of time here, and Humboldt not going away. They bring that full-court pressure game. Pass out of a double team quickly. Kai Johnson, quick near-touch pass, won't go to Colley, and ripped away there, and down the floor comes Ruffin. Marlon Ruffin! And the N1 opportunity is going to be there, although Kai Johnson is kind of holding his cheek.
He might have gotten nicked up there by an elbow, but
no holds barred there from Marlon Ruffin, the Madison, Wisconsin native out of Portland State. And Marlon Ruffin, here come those Jacks again. He's going to step up and try to make it a 7-point game. BJ Colley checking out of the game.
$11 for 12 from the three-point or from the free throw line.
Yeah, they put the points up on the wrong side again. 79-72, a 7-point lead. There's something about inbounds plays that these Humboldt Broncos are doing a really good job of. So the basketball is going to go to the Lumberjacks, and here they will inbound the basketball. Quick hitter off that. Oh, in and out. Almost goes for Ruffin. And boy, that Humboldt bench would have exploded if Ruffin's shot off that inbounds had gone in to make it a 5-point game. They've trailed by a bundle, have cut it to 6 points, now down to 7.
Are they saying it's a shooting foul? I don't think they are. Not an N1, no.
So Western Washington, quickly underneath they go, and look at that, Jonathan Ned. Much needed points for Western Washington as they once again will look for that 3rd win now. Oh, travel called against Rylan O'Brien. A good job there defensively for Western Washington, right along that far baseline to stand in and create the turnover. Here's Ned inbounding the ball. Dribble kept alive there by Kai. He'll cross half court. Johnson. Holden back up top. High pass corralled by Minnis.
Western wants to slow this down a little bit.
As we reach the midway mark of the second half. 10 minutes to go. Runner off glass is going to go for Minnis.
Also his left hand too.
Wow.
Unreal.
Clutch. And Edwards will get that one right back at the other end of the floor. Not the kind of ball that, and Edwards a little bit too careless coming down the floor trying to defend. This should be his third of the game.
And I think from this point on, you're just going to keep him in the game.
Oh, they need his production. You're right about that.
Spark, yeah.
Here's Hornbuckle. Lethal from outside tonight. Travel call. Turnover, Humboldt basketball. Cam Timmons will check into the game, as will Amari Green, number 3 for Humboldt. And as well, Rylan O'Brien, number 5. So Edwards and Ruffin will remain in the game for Humboldt in this 5-person group now with 9:42 remaining. Every possession magnified now for the Lumberjacks. Here's Ruffin. Goes right to the window, lulled the D to sleep, and just goes off glass.
And they are pressing, full court press the rest of the way, but it's causing some problems for Western here.
It really has. Now look at the handle from Minnis. He's going to dribble out of trouble, get his team across half court. 9:16 remaining. Minnis pulls back for 3, almost gets it to fall over the goal. And Humboldt State now with a chance to make it a 5-point game with a make. Ruffin, nice handle at 6'5", into the paint he goes. Couldn't get that to go, in a great play there by Holden. Outlet to Colley. Down the floor, off the window, and they're going to call an offensive foul against PJ Colley.
You could see the Western bench hold their breath because they thought it was about to be a block, but just looking at this Western roster, not an old roster. They have, I think, 2 seniors on the entire roster, if not.
And Holden, I think, is the only senior that plays a lot of it.
Sorry, it is Lucas Holden is the only senior.
Yeah.
So, they're a pretty young team. I know they have a lot of experience still from, their younger players playing, but this is where you build that character and that chemistry. Tight matchups.
Amari Green back up top. O'Brien for 3, doesn't go. Battle underneath Edwards. Whistle blows. Edwards is going to get called for the foul from behind. 1-1 at the other end of the floor. Nick Welp now checking in for Western Washington. As well, number 4, Ian Krishnan will come in for Marlon Ruffin, who gave them some great work. Holden is going to be good on the first. He gets the second one to rattle home. So right back up to 9 points a game. Western Washington, the rises and falls, but keeping it at least a 2-possession game throughout here. Right now with a 9-point lead. And underneath, hard to guard, and that's Edwards underneath.
Nice no-look pass from Timmons.
Timmons, boy, he's been impressive. Can do some nice things. Jaden Edwards at the stripe here. A make there. Jonathan Ned checking in, number 13. Coming out will be Kai Johnson.
Johnson with 4 fouls right now, so they're going to keep him fresh and keep him ready for the last little bit of this game.
8:20 remaining, so they're going to need him a lot down the stretch drive here because Humboldt has not gone away. Here's Minnis crossing half court. Oh, almost had it over and back there. Holden Back to Minnis. Working around the Welp screen now to Ned. Hornbuckle reverses to Ned. It goes through his fingers and into the Vikes bench.
This game,
called.
I was just going to say, this game, it always feels like Western's kind of pulling away, and then Humboldt comes back.
Hey, that press has been remarkably effective, and they've been clutch. It's really kept them in the game. Not only kept them in the game, it's given them a hope, and it's worked every time they've tried it. So something that head coach Tay Norwood's team has shown to be effective here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, that anxiety-provoking defense, right? And even just on inbounds, just pure inbounds, they're struggling a bit, Western Washington, with the Humboldt defense. It's very suffocating, and you know, if you're Humboldt, you got to hope for a couple of things to go your way, but
really gives you
anything
a good
can happen.
Yeah, it gives you a good idea too, Jake, of the nature. You know, as we celebrate this challenge between the GNAC and the CCAA, how evenly matched the teams are. And these are two teams that you'd say are clearly in the top half of their conferences. You know, I think the top three in the CCAA are extremely talented, and they're not here this weekend, but both conferences are pretty evenly matched. I mean, it is pretty neat to see.
Oh, yeah, and like you said, I think, you know, a school like Western really has kind of put the GNAC on the map by winning a national championship. And you're seeing a lot of good teams in the GNAC. So, you know, hopefully Simon Fraser will be there at the end as, you know, one of the, if not the premier team. But I think they're going to have to go through a team like Western who is going to have something to say about it.
Yeah. Head coach Steve Hansen and his staff relish the challenge of molding a new team out of a lot of new incoming players, and that's going to be fun to watch. 7:30 the tip right here as Simon Fraser takes on Dominguez from the CCAA. Humboldt out of the break. Edwards knocks down the triple. Look at that. Just like that, Jake, it's a 4-point game.
Unreal. And you see Timmins creating space by setting these picks and these off-ball screens, doing a great job. But, man,
yeah, you're right about that.
If you're Western, you got to be frustrated. You're like, we just can't pull away from these guys. They're just out-gridding us a bit.
That's just so great, though, when you see when you can put a unique player in a position to succeed at a time when you need it, and that's what Coach Norwood is doing right now with the big man Cam Timmins. Space on the floor in basketball is just such an interesting thing to see at work, at play, and how it can affect what happens on the floor.
I'm excited for these last 7 minutes. I feel like the last couple minutes will be chaos. There's going to be blood and bones on the floor. Like, just judging by a few of these moments in the game where the ball's just, you know, no one's able to grab a hold of it, and you're seeing a lot of diving for it. I'm excited for the last little bit here.
Great to watch this, yes. A 4-point game, 7:36 remaining. Here's Minnis, D'Angelo Minnis. Daniel Hornbuckle, the talented backcourt for this Western Washington team. Content to play deliberate half-court basketball. Welp the handoff. Almost surrendered there by Minnis. He gets it back. Welp comes up to set another screen on Green. This time he thought about the three. Instead, from 15, it's Ned. It goes in and it goes out. Wrestled away there. Oh, look at the take to the basket. Daniel Ned fouled. Shot out of a rocket on his way to the iron.
Great credit, though, or some credit should definitely go to Lucas Holden, able to get that offensive board between two Humboldt players and able to get the ball to Ruffin.
He's been a guy they've needed on the floor, and he's found a way to stay on the floor. Just part of a high percentage night from the front court players. Western Washington. Rylan O'Brien coming in. Amari Green will take a seat here for Humboldt. Rylan O'Brien, 6'4", 200, wearing number 5 for Humboldt, a physical guard. Here is Ned. He's going to make the second free throw. 6-point lead here. 2-possession lead with 7 minutes left. Humboldt trailing, but with the basketball. Malik Davis over to Krishnan, who can't get that one to fall.
Is that Hornbuckle with the foul, looks like? Hand in the face.
Hornbuckle with only his first foul of the game, is that correct?
I think so, yeah.
So here comes Kai Johnson, and Minnis will take a seat. Quick inbounds. Can they get it to go? Oh, tough play there. Working hard underneath. Marlon Ruffin. That's his wheelhouse, right underneath the basket. Look at him hustle for that loose ball. Ruffin back to O'Brien. He's going to lose it. And Welp picks it up now quickly to Hornbuckle.
I feel bad for our stats crew. There's so much happening. Every 3 seconds there's a turnover or a steal. It's crazy.
Goodness. Here's Hornbuckle. Ruffin guarding him. Here's Welp in the mid-post. Kicks it back out to Hornbuckle. He'll hoist a triple. He's going to get fouled by Ruffin. Indeed, Ruffin getting called for the foul. 3 free throws on tap for Daniel Hornbuckle.
Oh, man, that's a killer because it was good defense up until the foul, but, you know, that's a shot you probably would like if you're Humboldt. That's a low percentage shot, and he's kind of bailed out on a foul.
That is a tough break for the guys in green right now. But it's up to Hornbuckle to insert the dagger the best he can. 3 free throws now, 6:15 remaining. Unable to hit the second. Well, a make here will make it an 8-point lead. So Hornbuckle 2 of 3. And does Humboldt have yet more in reserve here to continue fighting? Here's the big 3, and it's going to fall. Great job there for Krishnan. Ian Krishnan, the Maryland product out of Central Connecticut State, knocks down the big shot there. Here's Kai Johnson. He turns a corner on the baseline. And, doesn't get a roll off the back iron, but gets fouled. And Krishnan with the foul, not happy with the call.
Kai Johnson is fast. Like, back to the basket, turn around, and he is gone.
Yeah,
and that has got to be really hard to defend.
You know what is the most deceptive thing about Kai, though, is his length. I just don't expect him to have that length, and every trait you've just outlined, and he uses his length with that, and that's what makes him so effective.
Yeah.
Boy. That one's going to come up short for Kai, and ripped away there by Edwards underneath the basket. Is Ned going to get called for a foul underneath? That's not a good foul.
No, that is not what you want, and again, you're giving Humboldt ways to stay in this game.
So it's a 2-possession game here. And the Never Say Die Lumberjacks continuing to get opportunities. Lots of time left, 5:42. Here comes Malik Davis. Goes to Edwards quickly to O'Brien. On top, Krishnan. To Edwards. Finds a seam, bullies his way inside. Can't get the roll, but we do get the harm underneath.
And they're not a fan, obviously, Western Washington, of that call. Looks like they're contending that BJ Colley, hands up, straight up, no jumping. But either way, Edwards, if he hits these next two-possession basketball game, which
and
is
that's
exciting.
what a player of his ilk has to do for his team right now. Jaden Edwards, leading scorer on this team last season, steps up and hits the first. Terrific way to start our weekend here. 2 more games tomorrow, 5:15 and 7:30 as well, involving these same 4 teams you're going to see here tonight. As Edwards hits the second, he makes it a 4-point game. Here comes that pressure again. This time they'll back off. Davis sticking to Minnis like glue. 5:16 remaining. Minnis has a great handle and needs everything he has here to keep possession for his team. Johnson from 15 kicks back out to Hornbuckle for 3!
He hadn't hit one in a little bit. I knew he wanted to do it.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Automatic, and he wears the number proudly. Number 3, Hornbuckle knocks down another triple.
6 for 8. 6 for 8. Oh my goodness.
Dynamic night from Hornbuckle.
I mean, when you're hitting 3/4 of your 3-point shots, you're having a night.
West Valley High School, Fairbanks, Alaska. Started his collegiate career at Portland Community College, transfers to Western Washington, and he's found a home here in the backcourt. Minnis quickly to Hornbuckle. Pulls up for another triple!
Oh.
That one swirled in and out. Smart play by Johnson, saves it. Kai Johnson inbound, 4:45 remaining. The clock becoming an issue more and more here for Humboldt.
He's going to take it again.
Oh, that time.
Heat check.
Here's Edwards in the open floor. Great body control there. Edwards scores it, makes it a 5-point game, but they do not want to give up easy ones at the other end to Western Washington. Minnis will slow it down.
Strong. Like, able to just put his head down, get to the hoop.
Kai Johnson now to Hornbuckle. Playing some catch. Holden, little crossover move, kicks it across. They move the ball well. Deep 3 from Minnis off the back iron. Holden giving it up to try and keep that ball alive. And you see the frustration in the face of number 11 as he loses the handle there on the baseline.
After getting a great rebound against someone who's got about 5 inches and probably 100 pounds on him, right? Like,
I just love the chemistry that we're seeing from Western Washington, and just the fact that they're the GNAC rival. Like, boy, that's a heck of a team. They weren't picked first in the coaches poll. I think it was St. Martin's that was.
Right.
I think was Western 3 or 4, somewhere around there. But so all we know is Simon Fraser was 9th, and as the analyst on our Buchanan Cup production at UBC, Paul Eberhard said, doesn't matter what the coaches say, Jake, about those. If you're low, they actually don't mind. It's instant inspiration for their guys, and I think you can bet Simon Fraser players are content to be the underdog and show the rest of the conference.
7th, it looks like SFU. Yeah, but I think the difference for SFU is
that's the season
year.
before.
There
yeah.
you go.
No, it was 9th out of 10. I just wasn't sure where Western was picked, but yeah, Simon Fraser second from the bottom. They were picked.
But they have so many new faces. Like, it's hard to be like, oh yeah, we're 100% this SFU. Yeah. It's really hard when you have other teams like that we're seeing. Yeah.
Exactly, and in that sense, you can't blame the coaches for voting. They have never seen these players. But if you hang around long enough, what a segue that is for a 7:30 p.m. tip for the Red Leafs, their first official home game as the Red Leafs. If you'll enjoy that one against Cal State Dominguez Hills. Here's Edwards. It is go time with an exclamation mark here. Great job again. The little things that Holden does. Behind the back to Welp, and he lays it up and in. Nick Welp with a beautiful basket.
That's why he was one of the best junior college players in the country. I think they really...
Wow. That was something to watch.
That was crafty. Around the back.
6'9", 225.
With pressure, too. Like, guys right in his face, doesn't matter.
That was impressive. He needed that one, too. Here's Holden. Into the paint. Nice ball movement here. Minnis gets it back. Minnis right through the traffic. Almost traveled there. Big 3, deep Hornbuckle.
My goodness. So 7 of 10 now. 70% from three-point land.
And he
10 attempts.
And he forced 2 of them, too.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness. What a night for him. 98-88. They've got it back out to double digits. It's 2:40 left here. Western Washington standing tall in the late stages of this one. Jump stop for Minnis. Krishnan with the foul. Finally starting to see some hands on hips and a little bit of body language that shows it's been a struggle for Humboldt. They played a great game here, but Western Washington has found ways to continually come back from those Humboldt runs.
Just not enough gas in the tank, I think, like you mentioned, you know, the lot of high points, but you know, it's a little too much of a roller coaster, I think, for them to hang in this thing.
Yeah, and you know what? Every team's different right at the start of the season. All the pieces don't plug in the same for every team. They've got to find ways to become who they want to be, and we are so early in the campaign. It's the first official counting game for both of these teams. Krishnan will take a seat with his 5th foul of the game. And that's Rylan O'Brien, number 5, in for him with 2:23 left. Is Minnis too strong on the first? Simon Fraser, the men's team, seated there as they watch the action. Underneath they go. There'll be a bit of a break in between these games for that 7:30 tip. Here's Kai Johnson. Holden, back to Minnis.
And they'll do everything they can to hold on to the ball for as long as possible. And I would give it to Minnis as well because he's unbelievable.
Oh, look at this. Holden for 3, too strong off the back iron there. Wrestled away by Edwards. Welp working hard on the baseline. So Edwards now with his 5th foul of the game. You got to give Humboldt one. They are leaving it on the floor here. 2 of the best players fouling out in the last 10 seconds here. As Welp steps up to the free throw line. Welp really getting a chance to shine. I believe it was 3.1 points per game last season. So he's showing the ability to do so much more this season. Numbers situation doesn't go the way of the Lumberjacks here as the Vikings hit 100 points. They're leading by 12. And this has been closer than a 12-point game, but the score is what the score is. And Western finding a way to break things open here as we get down to 1.5 minutes remaining.
I don't think it's going to leave Minnis's hand too much here. Wow.
He's a bit of a wizard there, but a nice job there by Cam Timmons. He gets the ball back. Pulling up for 3, and a beautiful triple there from Marlon Ruffin.
Oh, man. Anything can happen. We're talking a couple threes, but
well, Humboldt's not going to give up. They have fought. They've been. If they didn't believe in themselves, they would have fallen horribly out of this thing very early on. They've been pugnacious, I guess that's the word, to find ways to remain in this basketball game. Trailing by 9 here with 1:16 remaining. We've been saying all night, Simon Fraser will take to the floor for a 7:30 p.m. tip. Hope you will hang around and watch the home team in action. Simon Fraser will also play at 7:30 tomorrow, and they will play Humboldt State. The first game tomorrow, of course, will be Western Washington and Cal State Dominguez Hills. So it's the GNAC California Collegiate Athletic Association Challenge.
It's exciting. It's like the way that, you know, when we look at football and they play in the Lone Star Conference,
yep.
As an affiliate member, you know, I feel like the relationship between the GNAC and
the CCAA, certainly there's some
very prevalent. It's there, and I think you just get an example, like a team like Humboldt coming down. Yeah, this is like big boy basketball. This is what a way to start the year.
Last season hosted by the CCAA school. Was it Dominguez Hills last year that hosted it?
I believe it was.
I think it was. Yes. Yeah. Simon Fraser got a win down there. I think they split their 2 games down there last year. Here's Holden to inbound the basketball. Kai Johnson quickly to Holden, cross half court. They go to Hornbuckle.
I don't think we're going to see any more three-pointers from Hornbuckle at this point. I think they're probably going to just be a little more conservative to end this game.
But that backcourt that Simon Fraser is going to face twice in GNAC play from Western Washington, 3 guards, 3 distinct styles, right? Yeah. When you look at Kai Johnson, Daniel Hornbuckle, and D'Angelo Minnis. I mean, they're different enough that they really complement each other as a trio. And they're going to be obviously one of the best guard, combos in the conference.
Well, I think that's what we've seen with Western Washington is their ball movement is so great. They pass the ball out of bad situations like it's nothing. And we've seen Humboldt really press them, and they've had their struggles for sure, but they've been able to overcome that, and they've played so well in this, I would say the last 10 minutes of the game especially. They've been able to pull away a little bit, and then Humboldt coming back, but they've done enough to really give themselves a good shot here with just a minute left.
And let's not forget how impressive B.J. Cawley, number 23, was today. The front court rotation has as many superlatives as you can dish here tonight as well. As we get down to a minute remaining, quickly Hornbuckle wrestles it away. Johnson, 9 on the shot clock, down to 8. And the foul is going to get called on Bryce Mitchell as he tries to react to that quick turnaround move by Kai Johnson.
This is where you end the game effectively, is the free throw line. If you can hit your next couple here, you're feeling pretty good about the next 51 seconds.
Kai Johnson will try and do just that. Nothing but net there on the first. .102.91, that's an 11-point game.
Well, Humboldt's going to have a shot here. They'll go the line here. Remember, Humboldt had that stretch where, what is it, like 30 seconds, and they had about 10 points?
Yeah, exactly.
So just do that, and then you'll be fine, I guess, but easier said than done.
Well, Ruffin needs to hit these, and they need to get in there and press and scrap and claw. You know they're going to do that right to the very end here. Mission accomplished there. Make it a 9-point game. And here comes that pressure again. Off the inbounds. Hornbuckle now to hold in quickly. Look at how they break the pressure here as they get across half court to Minnis. Minnis double teamed in the near sideline. Five-second difference in the clocks here, but a big Western Washington lead here. They have been living on the free throw line down the stretch here. Minnis makes it an 11-point game. Down to a half minute. Ruffin underneath. Quickly, Green gets the basket to fall underneath to make it 104-95, a 9-point lead. 24 seconds left here. Humboldt's gonna play to the bitter end.
Great ball handling from Minnis, though.
Minnis, the double team comes quickly to Holden. Down to 13, down to 12. And that's gonna do it. Down to 6, cut it down from 5 because the Western Washington Vikings of the GNAC are going to come through with a 104-95 win over Humboldt from the CCAA. Jake, you know what? It shows as a 9-point game. It had its moments, though. It was a terrific basketball game on the whole.
Especially that the first half was so fast-paced and quick and lead changes. The second half, I think you saw Western really take over, and that 3-ball from Hornbuckle.
Oh, boy.
70% from the three-point line, but he really was one of the catalysts for them to really take over in that second half. And just like you said, that chemistry between those guards, just able to get points when they needed to, able to get stops when they needed to. Exciting, and I'm excited to see Humboldt tomorrow.
It's going to be fun to watch them again. The guys in green come away with a loss. They're smiling, though. They know they got a good game. They got better here tonight, and they're going to face the host Simon Fraser Red Leafs tomorrow at 7:30. Western Washington will face Kelsey.